What we've got here in this little box is a safety device for your car. Now there's a couple of different main types of these available, and TPMS stands for a tyre pressure monitoring system. What they're designed to do is let you know when your tyres are starting to deflate so that you can take action before it becomes critical. Now it probably won't save you from a really fast blowout. There's not a lot you can do about that. But if you've got a tyre that's going soft and it's got a leak in it, it's certainly designed to let you know about that. This one is a valve stem one. So the monitors replace the dust cap on the end of the tyre valve. We're just going to have a quick look at this one. This is only around $40, this particular model. It's an eBay special. We have no idea really what sort of quality it is and whether it's going to do a good job. I'm just going to have a little look here at what comes in the packet. Okay, so we have these nuts. They lock the monitors onto the end of the valve so that people can't pinch them too easily. A little spanner for that. Little sticky mounting for the unit itself. The unit itself looks pretty small. It's got a solar panel on the back of it. It's got some switches there, we'll find out what they're for later. And you've got a screen. This is obviously meant to be pulled off. And that's where we'll get the readout once the system's installed. Being a cheap system, I really don't know whether this is going to be any good or not. If it works, for 40 bucks it's not a bad investment. Now the monitors themselves, just little gizmos like that. It lets you know which of the tyres to put them on. Of course that's left front. The sequence of the install is to put a nut onto the tyre valve, wind it down, then put your valve sensor on there, tighten that right up, and then behind that you wind the nut back up onto it and use the little spanner just so that you can't easily lift that off, unwind it and somebody just walk away with it. It's going to be interesting to see how these go when we go down corrugations, whether they stay on. It's important that they do, of course, because your monitoring system's no good without them. There is a second type of tyre monitoring system which has the monitors built into the valve stem. They are supposed to be better than this, but if all this does is alert you when the pressure in one of your tyres is starting to go down, that's really what we want it to do. I don't care whether my tyres are 32 pounds or 34 pounds. All I want to know is one of those tyres on its way to going flat on me as I'm driving. So it comes with a little USB cable. That's to plug in if the solar isn't operating. So if you've got cloudy weather or at night. So you plug that into your little cigarette lighter adapter or wherever your power sockets are in your particular car. A lot of cars these days are now coming standard equipped with a tyre pressure monitoring system. But if you haven't got it, if you've got an older car like us, this is one option. And we're going to see if it's a good option or whether the money is better spent getting a better system. These of course have got batteries in which will need replacing at some point. They are supposed to last around about 2 years. So we'll see what happens when we install that. We'll get out shortly and set the whole system up on the 4x4 and give you a look at how it all goes together and whether it works well or not. Doing the right front wheel, so you select the right front monitor. So the first thing you do is just wind on the little nut. That'll be the locking nut. just wind that down the stem to start off with. On goes the monitor. Bring the nut up to the back of it, and then just use a little spanner to lock that on. Okay, so that's the first sender locked on. Okay, so we have these senders all installed on each valve, and we're just ready to try the display for the first time. Now it's charged up initially. Hold the button down. They seem to take a little bit longer to kick in. Okay. So, we're looking at the pressures at the moment as they've come up. Surprisingly, all quite well balanced. So what we'll do, we'll leave the unit sitting in the car for a while. Now I'm going to mount it in here. And once you've gone into the menu system, there's quite a few adjustments you can make to this unit. Initially you've got pounds per square inch or kPa. You can then adjust the temperature between Celsius or Fahrenheit. You've got a high pressure level sensor, so an alarm will sound if your pressure goes over that. And you've got a low pressure sensor, so the alarm will also sound if you drop below 26 pounds. You have a temperature heat sensor, so you can tell how well your tyres are doing as far as heat's concerned, whether one's building up too much heat in it. Press the center menu button to go back to the standard screen. You can see a little bit of difference there from the initial reading, one coming up to 37. That's a tyre front right that's actually sitting in the sun at the moment, so I would expect the pressure in that to be coming up slightly. The other tyres are fairly well shaded. If anything else comes up, I would expect it to be rear right. But we'll leave that in here now and come back in a couple of hours and check it out. Okay, we're back a couple of hours later just to check the tyre pressures, and pretty well no change there. So looks like everything's airtight, not losing any pressure. We'll check it again tomorrow just to be 100% sure, but it certainly looks like it's working and giving us a reading on the pressures. Now the unit turns itself on and off based on vibrations, so when the car starts up and it feels vibrations, on comes the screen. Now you can see with the tyres cold this morning, this is early morning, that it's reading slightly lower pressures, and of course all the temperatures are quite down compared to what they were yesterday. It'll be interesting over the next few days to just watch this and see what the differences are in pressures because of temperature. Temperature of course has a great effect on the pressure inside the tyres. The hotter they get, the more the air expands, the higher the pressure will go. Now I've just taken one of the sensors off, which set the alarm off on it. That's what it should be doing, is showing that there's no pressure there. So if your tyre does start to go down, it sort of sets off an alarm, which it should do. It just alerts you that there's something going wrong. In this case, because the sensor's off, it's showing a reading of 0. Now I'm just going to do a little bit of a test to drop the tyre down and put the sensor back on and get a real-time reading again. So you can see from the screen here that the setting for low pressure warning is currently 26 psi. And when you have a look at what the screen is reading, I've just dropped the tyre down manually. It's actually detecting that the tyre pressure is lower than the setting for the low alarm. So it's flashing a warning and gives an intermittent alarm as well. So this indicates that the sensors are working as they should be. So looks like this could be quite a good little gizmo. Only around the $40 mark, a little bit above. And this could be quite a useful item to add to your vehicle if it doesn't already have some kind of tyre pressure monitoring system.